If there are no corrections or additions, need a motion to approve.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, unfinished business, we don't have any. New business, schematic design Center Lake Pavilion. Larry?
Yeah, this is our next phase after the master plan was completed. You know, we looked at everything that was there and decided to go ahead with the schematic design for the renovation of the pavilion to include park offices. After a couple months' work, we now have the schematic design in front of you. I've got it up on the board there, and as Sean goes through here, we'll just kind of look at it. You know, that's the existing pavilion there. We go to the next one. This kind of shows the parking spots that we would need in the turnaround area there for the park offices, if we made park offices up there, so. Go ahead. Yep. And that kind of shows the existing layout of the pavilion as it is now. And this is the proposed remodel thing, and I think you've all seen these before, and if not, they're in your packet, but some of the changes are moving the kitchen, opening the wall up so we can view the lake and have the opportunity to rent not only the main room, but the other room at the same time, or as one. Some restroom changes up front, access to the attic has changed, and some of the storage, but lifeguards room on the one side, and then of course some storage for our paddle boards and stuff like that would be used for the recreation side to use the lake and access the lake easier, as well as the concession area and a rental area on the other side. So. And that's just the top existing view there where the stairs are coming up. And go ahead to the next one, Sean. And this is the upstairs proposed offices, 4 offices, Heather's area there. Of course, the elevator coming up or stairwell, some storage area, restroom. Just simple up there, nothing big. Okay, Sean. Here's some renderings of, you know, what it might look like when it's finished. You know, it's a wainscoting stone around the bottom. It could be any color. This is just the color they picked to show, kind of show it in design. Kind of a clean look, metal roof. In the back, lakeside, you can kind of see the opening of that room that would show the access to the lake from the inside, as well as the door there to the left where our paddle boards and things would be, and then our offices up top there, so. And that's just another view down the side. New concrete around the building. As most of you know, it's asphalt right now with not a good edge around it, so you know, if you're going to redo a building, you might as well redo around it, so that was our thinking. Here's some of the interior things that we're looking at. This is an open truss design. Those are the actual trusses that are up there. That would be an exposed ductwork, exposed truss with the meeting room open to the lake there. Just kind of gives you a little view with the pendant lights. That's one option.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, go ahead,
It's
Sean.
not so, quite so claustrophobic.
And this would be the option with the ceiling, similar to the way it is now, but with can lights in it, and still, you know, still the opening to the lake and the opening to the beach side there. Lots of windows, brightness.
I wonder how
Flooring.
the noise would
Okay.
be.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, that's about. This shows the panels closed. If we would have a rental facility in the main room and then somebody, you know, having a meeting in the other room, the sound panels would be closed and we could rent both of them at the same time. They'd have access from the front door. The other group would have access by the elevator coming in to use that room, as well as restroom facilities there as well. So
Larry, what's the capacity that we both?
the capacity, I don't have a number for capacity. Right now it's listed at 425, I think it is, and by the fire marshal, and we're not losing any square footage at Stokoe was what we have now. We're actually expanding that with the other room there, so. This is another thing that they threw in there. They had kind of a frosted or transparent wall there to divide that, but I'm not so sure about that. I don't agree with that at all, but that was just another option they showed us. I think we need to have separation. And then, just open it up here. Don't you just love technology? I don't know where all my stuff just went.
Hey Larry, I'm assuming that the difference between the open truss and the drop ceiling would be primarily sound benefit and.
It'd be sound
maybe
and
not having to-
aesthetics.
Okay,
Yeah, I think it's kind of neat to have the open truss
open,
look,
yeah.
but there is a cost to that, you know, in our design, and I'll get to that here in a little
Okay.
bit here. If I can get this to load up, it's trying. Yeah, I got it. So then they provide us with, you know, the standards there, the power distribution, you know, what the requirements are for the building, the lighting. This lighting is with the fixtures in the ceiling, that concept, lighting controls. There's a lot of things in here. I mean, we didn't go full-fledged, the best we can get with everything. We didn't go with stainless steel toilets and things like that. We went with porcelain. So we were mindful of trying to keep the cost competitive, but also a good product at the end. So fire alarm, of course, the building would have to be sprinkled. It's not sprinkled right now. That's a sizable cost, but that would be something that would be required with the remodel. Heating and air conditioning, of course, and controls. There again, with the temperature controls, it just depends how elaborate you get. If you want things that, you know, do things automatically, or if you just want something where you can set the temperature controls. The water service, sanitary service, plumbing fixtures, as you can read there. And of course, the fire protection. So, you know, those are things that they've spec'd out here and just kind of showed you what the codes were and allowing us to keep up to the codes. And then we go into the pavilion, and this shows a little bit of the amounts of how they came up to the total cost of the project. And I won't go through each one of these, but you can see the demolition and then the masonry things. See some of the other big items, you know, the metal studs, drywall, you know, to change things around, doors, frames, hardware, entrances, storefronts. Plumbing, a lot of plumbing needs moved there and redone, which would be a good thing. I mean, that's kind of a plumbing nightmare down there right now, as well as electrical nightmare, but, and then, of course, the parking lot out front, the cost there, the asphalt paving, you know, that's inside, and the site concrete around the building, the earthwork, heating and ventilating and air conditioning, you know, that's a major one. That and electrical, I mean, we're $214,000, $119,000 for those, but those are really important when redoing that. I think if you remember in the master plan, it was proposed at 1.2 to 1.4 million. That was when we were considering doing the open pavilion next to the building. So some of the costs from that, not doing the open shelter next to it, have been incurred into the pavilion renovation. So we're incurring some of that cost, and then also the cost of the turnaround and the parking out front for the office. So with that being said, it's about 1.9 million is where they're in at. And if we go to the open truss, it's about 75 to 85,000 more to have the open truss, and that's because of the exposed ductwork, the shallow roof. They have to put the insulation, everything on the roof itself, and then redo the roof up there. So that's the additional cost. We as a park department really like that look and think it really looks good. And but that'll be something that we'll have to discuss as we move further, if that's what we would like to do or not. You know, if it's worth that cost to have that look and that feel. So.
The open truss is That's there now.
The trusses are there, they're just covered up,
Just
yes.
covered.
So it would be, you know, opening those up, exposing them, refurbishing them kind of way, you know, painting them up, you know, and the ductwork, of course, wouldn't just be the ductwork that you throw up in an attic, it would be decorative ductwork, you know, to carry the heat loads. So-
But you're saying the insulation, rather than being up above that drop ceiling, it would be up in the
And the
actual
roof,
roof?
to get our R value, yes.
Okay,
Yes, that's the difference in the two pictures you see there, that's the
Okay.
cost difference.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Are there any solid walls where a screen could be used, like if people have meetings, or will it need to be a standalone screen? I mean, I was trying to tell, like back by the men's restroom, women's restroom, if that's gonna be a solid wall. Because otherwise, everything is either windows or like the kitchen has a pass-through, right?
We had looked at that, we had talked on the side, if you can go to the kitchen shot there, or above the pass-through there, or over to the right of it. Not only a projector screen, but, you know, it depends how far we go with technology. I mean, it may be a monitor like that, or something like that, that you can Bluetooth to, or you can hook up, and people can use.
Yeah,
Yes. Mhm.
So, does this cost include wiring it for Wi-Fi so that we could finally have Wi-Fi in there?
There's, what I want to say, a contingency in this, but that is an unknown until you get that cost. So when we go to the next phase, that cost will be in there. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Because I think that's one thing that is really an issue in the meetings I've been in there, is not being.
When we talked to Chris about that, I think that's in the electrical and the wiring, and he seemed like that was minimal, because as you run wires, you run the cable.
The
you know,
cable, okay.
Yes, as well.
Yeah, I just couldn't figure out on this where you might be able
Mhm.
to show.
And I think it's the same place, Diane, where we have the pull-down screen now. It's somewhere in that vicinity where we
Okay.
would use, and that's something we'll have to figure out. You know, do we want monitors on the sides also,
Right.
along there? And, you know, with the technology and the way things are, I mean, there's a lot of things we can do there, I believe.
Yeah, because you could have something like that even,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Whatever makes it friendly for the users, that's what we're
Right.
looking at, yeah. Yep. So the next step to this process would be the design, development, and the construction documents. So in talking with Jeremy and planning, we're looking at that. That would be the next phase, and once we have that phase done, it would be ready to go to bid at any time. So whether we have the funds to do this right now, or, you know, 2, 4, 6 years down the road, whatever that takes, if we wanted to go ahead with the design development, that's something that the architect and Jeremy felt that we could go ahead and get done, and then at any time when the funds are there, we'd have that part done and it could go to bid and then construction pretty quickly. So that's kind of where we're leaning to go that route. Any other questions? I know it's a lot to go over, and hopefully you've had a chance to look at it, and, I mean, if there are questions, we've got plenty of time, so, I mean, be sure to look over it, and at our next meeting or whatever, if you have questions, I'm sure try to answer them.
But the timeline, I mean, I know it's contingent upon when the funds are available, but also needs to be considered when you guys need offices.
Absolutely, and we've talked with Jeremy about that, and he's on board with that, as the Buffalo Street development comes. I mean, if it's sooner,
It's creeping
we need,
closer
we
and
need to,
closer.
you know, it's all kind of a chain reaction.
mhm.
And when that happens, this will kick in, and, you know, if that takes a couple more years than they think, well, this could be a couple more years. So that's kind of where we're at. We're kind of the caboose on the train right now, and just waiting for something to happen to make this go in. But, we don't want to be, you know, caught, you know, with nothing to propose. So, that's kind of, we're at this situation, and I think we need to go further and have that ready. So when that time comes, we're ready to bid and be ready to go.
So do you need approval to do that then?
Yeah, I would think that a recommendation from the park
I
board.
would, yeah, I would think we
Yeah.
would want to.
Yeah.
Do we have a motion to go ahead with the more
Design.
detailed design and costing?
Yes, I would make that motion to continue that.
Second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead with more detailed design, I guess, and costing. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
And of course, that'll be reliant upon funds to do that. So,
Right.
but I appreciate the board taking that aggressive next step to allow us to do that.
Okay, next up, the Lucerne Park Amphitheater.
Sean, if you want to pull those around there. Justin at the planning department and myself and Sean have been working on the drawings for the amphitheater. The design would hold approximately 260 people and be made out of pavers, retaining wall, and concrete, kind of like what we have at Central Park. The design's kind of after that. So I apologize, I didn't get these in the board pack, but I just received these this morning. So as you can see, or maybe you can't see, but as we come from the lake, Sean, if you can kind of point that out, we're coming from the lake side, the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see the pathway, where the pathway is, walkway, right there, you had your fingers on it? Yeah, nope, down,
One up, there
down,
you go.
down, there you go. That's the walkway or walk path around Lucerne. And currently, right now, the stage is right in front of that. So as you can see, we're moving this up at least 40 feet and getting it away from the water. And the stage is actually closer to the seating, so it doesn't feel separated like it is right now. So it would all be encompassed like that. Like I said, there's about 260 people. We would use colored pavers to put the design in. And we did a cost study on materials on this and labor cost. And we believe that the project will come in at or below the 150,000 mark that we budgeted for. So the park department will provide the lighting. In our initial design for this, we had seat lighting and everything in there, but it drove the cost way, way high. And with the time change, the park closes at 10 o'clock, and there really isn't a need for lighting for that situation. But we do have 5 ornamental lights that we recouped from the Buffalo Street project when it went through the park. So we've taken those, we've painted the lights, and we're getting new heads for them. So the park department will install those ornamental lightings around the project to do well. So we're kind of revamping those and using them where we can. So if you want to flip it over there, Sean. Next one. That'll kind of give you a little more closer up look. We'd be able to bring lawn chairs or wheelchairs to the back there as well, off the pavement from the cabins. We'll also have the ramp down at the bottom where a wheelchair could sit right in front if they need to, right in front of the stage there on the concrete part of it. Just a
Will
much,
they be able to get up on the stage?
the wheelchairs?
Mhm.
Yes. Mhm. Come up the ramp and they'll be right
So
on.
that'll be
Yep.
good,
Yep.
okay.
Yep, absolutely. And of course, we've got to get, we want to get the electrical needs to this. We're in talks with NIPSCO right now as far as bringing electrical power to this area. Right now, we just have 110 down there, ran off of one of the cabins, and we want to put like a 200 amp service down there. So we have plenty of power for any event that's there and any future events that, we may do down the road and bring Lucerne back to what it used to be as far as events, so. I think there's one more shot there, Sean, if you want to show them that. But, that just kind of shows you a side view of the stage and then the handrail and kind of what the stones will look from the side of it. But so that's where we're at with it. If anybody has any questions or concerns about the design of the looks of it, we'll certainly entertain that. But we'd like to get this to bid as quick as possible, so we have time to remove the existing amphitheater and get the construction going somewhere in June. So that's our goal. And hopefully it'll be done by the time Sheila has her fall Family Fest out there. But if not, we certainly ought to be far enough that it shouldn't be a hindrance to that. So, yeah.
Okay, that's already been voted on, right? We don't need to. Or
Oh,
do you need?
no, if you want to
Okay.
vote for us to proceed with this,
All
that
right.
would be good. Yeah.
Okay, need a motion to proceed?
I move that we proceed. I'm excited by
Okay.
this, yeah.
Yes.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
And something to put in the back of your minds and think about is, we'll have to, when this is completed, we'll have to set a fee for the rental of this. And so I would like to ask the board to be thinking about, you know, what kind of a fee they would like to see charged for this event. It's very minimal what we charge, right? What is it right now, Heather?
$26.75.
Yeah, $26.75 for amphitheater, so.
Well, for what it currently is, that's
For it currently
probably
is, yeah.
overpriced.
So just something to think about, to keep in the back of your mind, and, you know, when we get to that point, we'll have to set a rate for this, so.
I mean, not to give Sheila anything else to do, but, I mean, we need to do an event where we not only cut the ribbon, but maybe have a band up there, or, you know, really introduce the new,
Yep.
the new facility to the community, because that's gonna be wonderful.
I agree. I actually helped build the old one back in the early '80s, and I know where it's at, so I'm
Wow.
excited to see the new come in,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great improvement. Okay, next up is the grants for Kelly Park.
Yeah, I'm pleased to announce that we've received the grants from the K-21 Foundation and the Dr. Dane and Mary Louise Miller Foundation for the construction project at Kelly Park to include the 4 pickleball courts. We anticipate construction for the project to start as soon as the weather breaks, as they can get into the courts. It's pretty soft out there right now. We're trying to do some playground work out there, and we're fighting wetness, so got everything lined up and ready to go. We're just waiting on Mother Nature, so. That totaled almost 63,000, something like that. I don't have the exact numbers, I guess they're in your packet here, but between the 2 foundations to do this. But, you know, in talking to both foundations, we're really excited that we're bringing pickleball to our park system. We think it's going to balloon, and a lot of people will play it. We've talked with the pickleball fanatics, and they're interested in, you know, helping us provide some recreational opportunities with Sheila to teach and how to play. And so, you know, a lot can go on out there once it's done, so we're looking forward to that. So.
Well, people that haven't been to Kelly Park for a while need to check it out.
It's gonna be good. I mean,
Between the sledding hill and the new playground equipment and this, a lot of changes out there.
Yep.
All right, thank you. Maintenance report.
All right, so, since we last met, we have gone around and turned all the water onto all the restrooms, got them all fired up. We've opened all of them this week except for Central Park restrooms. We had a plumbing issue in there. Of course, there was a special order part, and we're waiting on that special order part to come in so we can finish that. So as soon as we get that in, hopefully by the end of the week, we'll have that rolling. We've been spreading picnic tables throughout the parks. With the weather being beautiful, there has been a ton of people out in the parks enjoying. So we're thinning them out of the shelters, so we're ready to rent those for the seasons. We're still fighting rain. Kelly Park was an issue. We still have tables in that shelter that we just can't drive to because it's too wet to get out there. So as soon as we get a chance, even if we have to hand carry them out, we will. We've got sand to the beaches, ran the Barber Surf Rake a few times to dress them up a little bit. Here probably next month, we'll be doing that daily, every day for the season. And we've got the campgrounds open, and a lot goes into opening campgrounds. So we got all the water turned on to every site, the restrooms, the office. We got the courtesy piers in, both of them. We filled in low spots with gravel, put out all the fire rings, tables at every spot, hooked the computer and all that random stuff up, took the boards off the office. And he's starting to fill up pretty quick out there. So I think I haven't been out there too much. I've been kind of busy, but I think he's doing pretty good already this year. Let's see. Oh, and we started mowing this week. So spring is here.
Thank you, Sean.
Did we hear about the lightning detectors? You didn't go?
Okay, next up, recreation report.
So the rec guide is supposed to be here Thursday or Friday, so that's exciting that that will be arriving. Most of the rec staff has been hired. I'm still looking for one skate park person, and we do need lots of lifeguards yet. So if you know anyone who is lifeguard certified, send them my direction, please. The concerts have been announced. Little River Band will be the rock concert on June 14th. Kara Granger will be blues on June 28th, and Montgomery Gentry will be the country on July 19th. So really excited to bring them to town. This Saturday we have our Brushes and Bunnies event, which is where the Easter Bunny comes and the kids get to paint a canvas using some stencils and stickers and things. And they have, if you've been to the office lately, we have giant baskets all over the office that are ready for each kid to take home with them. And skate park opens a week from Saturday. So things are winding up for rec.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think the BMX track's getting close.
Yeah, I think they have their first practice this week, their open practice, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Said he had to put it back a little bit, but,
yeah.
okay, other matters to come before the board.
The only other thing I'd like to mention is we have did some work at the Kelly Park where the playground's going in. We're trying to get the borders in there so it defines where the area's gonna be and put the fill dirt in there. We caught 3 days there where it was dry and we got a lot of work done, but of course it rained heavily again. So we're trying to do other projects. And speaking of that, we went to Rotary Park today and we've started excavating that where the climbing rocks are gonna go at Rotary Park, and we're getting ready to set the sonotube foundations for the climbing rock. So we hope to get that done and then put the climbing rock where it needs to be before the concrete borders are put in. So we're working on that. Kittyland, we removed the 3 picnic tables that were down there, the permanent picnic tables that were in Kittyland. The new ones they're going to pick up tomorrow at Wabash Valley, so the new ones are in, so we'll get those in as well. That'll give us something to do when it's really wet at some of the other locations. We can put those in. So this time of year is just you fight rain on one area, but you try to do other projects and keep going so you don't get caught up. But and also Sean needs seasonal help as well. He needs 4 or 5 more seasonal help. Anybody that's over 18 and has a license and wants to work for the park department, it's a great place. They have a lot of good memories with the people that worked here before, and they think everybody should work at the park department one time or another. So hopefully we can get some more seasonal help for Sean and have another good year.
So you need 4 or 5, how many lifeguards do you need yet?
10?
10 more?
12?
Wow,
Yeah, we're struggling. We have what, 5 so far?
I have 4 right now.
4, okay.
okay,
Yeah, so,
Full staff, I would consider it 12.
yeah.
okay.
It might be another situation where, as last year, we had 7, I believe.
Yeah, we had 7 and then
And,
we were needed.
We had to guard certain days and certain
Yeah.
hours and try to be the most effective we could, but it's looking like we might have to do that again this year as well, so.
Okay, thank you. Meeting review, well, I'm excited about all the changes with Center Lake Pavilion and the amphitheater. That's gonna be great. That's really long overdue, but it'll be worth it. It'll be a great deal for us. So, and the pickleball courts, of course. Anybody have anything else? If not, take a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.